Derek, the up-and-coming sensation in the corporate scene, exudes kindness and chivalry. At every booze-up, he consistently keeps an eye on the little princess of the board. I saw him as I was being pushed to drink and ultimately had to get my stomach pumped. He gave me some advice, Jamie. Just let it slide. She's never had a tough time before. I was on the verge of tears, if only Derek wasn't my boyfriend. The day the scheme was swiped, Derek rarely bowed his head to me. He pleaded for me to please approach the cutthroat young mogul in the circle and assist him in retrieving the project. I gave in. 3 days later, Derek personally escorted me to the young mogul. But I kept it on the down low. The project never returned. Neither did I. Tonight's booze-up was supposed to have nothing to do with me. Derek hit me up and insisted I show up. When I got there, I discovered that Hannah wanted me present. As I stepped into the VIP room, I realized Hannah had something planned. She was playing a game with Derek. The game was about sharing a cookie, eventually inching in for a smooch. Everyone cracked up. "You better take responsibility for Hannah and Derek," they teased. All the folks there were Hannah's buddies, only echoing things she liked. After some ribbing, they finally noticed me hanging at the door. "Derek, who's this?" Derek glanced at me, then quickly looked away. "She's the neighbor's sister." I clutched my dress tightly, not contradicting. "I'm not just a sister, I'm your girlfriend." Hannah slid a glass of wine towards me, and I gracefully declined. "Sorry, I'm allergic to booze." Hannah pressed, "Jamie, you think you're better than us?" Refusing to drink, she cut in. "You gotta save your dad's rep. Everyone here's influential. If you don't drink, where's your shot?" Desperate, I turned to Derek for backup. He knew about my alcohol allergy, but stayed quiet. Could these people truly help my dad? I took a deep breath, grabbed the glass, and downed it all. Once I started, I was like a lamb to the slaughter. They kept the drinks flowing, one after another. Laughing. "Look at her go, she can really drink." Derek frowned his delicate brows and glanced over. I thought he'd shut them down, but he didn't. The booze burned my stomach. The mocking laughter slowly died as I blacked out. Before passing out, all I heard was Hannah's playful voice. "Derek, check her out. She's just pretending." I ended up in the ER for stomach pumping. When I came to, only Derek's assistant was by my side. The assistant breathed a sigh of relief. "Thank goodness you're awake." The doc mentioned any delay might have been fatal. "Where's Derek?" I asked. "He was just here, but honestly, a call from Hannah made him dip. Didn't surprise me, like he was scared I'd be mad." The assistant explained, "Jamie, Derek really cares about you. He was by your hospital bed all night, his eyes red from worry. His concern is real. Derek's situation is pretty tough since Hannah's the chairman's daughter at his company." Before, I couldn't figure out why Derek's career was skyrocketing so fast. But after meeting Hannah, everything clicked. She's the chairman's daughter where Derek works. We both hail from the same small town and have been childhood pals for over 2 decades. Our folks even set us up for marriage when we were kids. When tragedy hit my family 3 months back, I turned to Derek for help. I thought he'd definitely back me since my family once supported his. But reality slapped me hard. When I saw him again at his place, he was lounging in bed with a random woman, Hannah. Derek tried to brush it off. "I was drunk and just crashed. Nothing happened." I fired back. "They were asleep together in bed. How is that nothing?" Derek coolly replied, "We're both adults. Don't be so extra." "Jamie, take a leaf out of Hannah's book. See more of the world, and you won't be so gullible." Where's the Derek I first knew? The friendly neighbor kid who always had a warm smile. Hannah loved to pick on me, and Derek let it slide, almost to the extreme. I could either take the heat or ditch the relationship. Either way was cool, as long as I could save my dad. When I was getting out of the hospital, the doctor scolded me. "Don't you know you're allergic to alcohol? Stop treating your body like this and eat better. You're too skinny and malnourished." Her words were harsh. But Doc, I used to be different. I was healthy and pretty with long black hair, not like now, dull and brittle like dry grass. I listened quietly, no protests, until she sighed and said, "I'm a mom too. Hurting your body like this. Your parents would be heartbroken if they knew." Tears filled my eyes. I cried all the way to Derek's doorstep, ready to ask him something. Can't waste booze, can't waste stomach pumping. Isn't it time we dealt with my dad's situation? Standing by the study door, I suddenly heard a fight inside. Samuel took over this project. We're screwed. It was Derek's impatient voice. Then you better figure something out. Even Hannah seemed heated. I begged my dad for half a day to trust you with this big opportunity, Derek. If you can't deliver, you gotta make it happen. Fine, fine, Derek conceded. Do you think I dare steal the project from Samuel? I can't handle even 10 of him. Hannah went quiet. Derek, there's another way, she said. Tell me, he replied. Yesterday, during drinks, a friend told me something about Jamie. They said she looks a lot like Samuel's crush. Samuel? I've heard that name before. The chairman hasn't stepped down yet, but Samuel, as his grandson, has been thriving. However, there are tons of rumors about this guy. In the study, Derek's voice turned icy. Hannah, I warn you, don't drag Jamie into our stuff. What's up? Feeling guilty? You know what kind of dude Samuel is? You sure do. Hannah was on her high horse. Crazy temper, unpredictable, doesn't care if there's blood on his hands, goes as far as hurting his own dad, pushing Jamie towards such a lunatic, trying to kill her. Those were the rumors. Samuel cut ties with his family, making his dad's life super miserable. Hannah burst out laughing, a really loud laugh. Derek, I haven't even said anything yet, and you're already thinking about pushing Jamie to him. Talk about being in sync. Derek went silent. He didn't even deny it. I covered my stomach, feeling a chill. Should I let Jamie help? It's up to you to decide. If we can't seal the deal, then you're out along with her. Hannah delivered the final ultimatum, her tone snobby. The next day, Derek locked himself in the study, chain-smoking nonstop. He never used to smoke. He used to be as clear as a spring pond, shimmering in the sun. Now that pond was murky, giving off a nasty smell. In the evening, Derek knocked on my door. He sounded guilty as he explained his request, hoping I could go and smooth things over with Samuel. I wasn't shocked at all. I'd heard of this guy before. They say he has a killer temper. But those were just rumors, nothing to bank on. So, are you saying I'll be safe by his side? Derek was speechless. I know you feel wronged, but Jamie, once this is done, I'll help you save your uncle. The people closest to us are the ones who can exploit our weaknesses. Derek, I just got out of the hospital today, remember? Sorry, I was swamped today. Couldn't pick you up myself. You okay? He reached out to touch my hair, but I dodged it. Jamie, you upset? Nah. If you really don't wanna, it's cool. Wanna do what I said? I want to, so when should I come see him? I never expected to agree so easily. Derek's face suddenly turned cold, his brows knitted. 3 days later, Derek personally drove me to the hotel. Jamie, you sure about this? Of course, I hate seeing you so stressed. He had a pair of tender eyes. I used to love his eyes a lot, but now I find them annoying. It doesn't matter about my future. It's all for my uncle. No for Dad. He took out a bracelet and fastened it on my wrist. Jamie, keep this on you. I'll come get you. Stepping out of the car, in a hidden corner, I took off the bracelet and tossed it in the trash. I'd been disappointed in Derek for a long time. I could tell he was avoiding me, not just because of Hannah, but probably because he feared my dad's case would drag him down. So, for these 3 months, he talked a lot, but did nothing, wasting time. Young love always bites reality. I headed straight to the top floor of the hotel. Samuel was a weird guy, never stayed home, always in hotels. He'd booked the presidential suite on the top floor. The door was wide open, but the room was dark. Just as I was about to enter, a man was thrown out from inside. Yeah, thrown out. A middle-aged dude, battered, was tossed out of the room. He yelled, "Samuel, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Get lost." With that icy voice, a fruit knife flew straight and stuck in the carpet in front of the man. It missed him by just 2 millimeters. I knew those 2 millimeters weren't a mistake, but intentional. I shivered and looked up. The man was sitting on the sofa, his face hidden in the darkness. Only his fingertips showed a bit of red. "Samuel," my voice trembled. "I'm Jamie," I said. "Come here." He cut me off. The closer I got to him, the dimmer the light became. But I could still see his sharp facial features and slender legs. Introduced by Hannah and Derek, I finally managed to finish speaking. "I know," Samuel replied casually. "Can you kiss?" "No." "Never had a boyfriend before?" "No, but I had a playground kiss. In the past, not anymore." When did it stop? Just now. He chuckled softly, very quietly. It felt like a feather lightly brushing my skin, causing a ticklish feeling. Surprisingly, it wasn't bad. Can you do it? Samuel asked again. Do what? He made a simple sound, making my cheeks flush. No. I stumbled, not continuing. Samuel had already let go of my hand. Kidding with you? Don't worry. I'm not trying to make you do anything you don't want. Surprisingly, he turned out to be quite sensible. Samuel wasn't going to push it. He lowered his head, ready to back off again. I suddenly reached out and hooked the buttonhole. I was just nervous, not unwilling to prove my determination, I said, reaching behind and unzipping his pants. A silhouette bigger than I'd imagined appeared. Thanks to the darkness, my blushing face was hidden. Tell me, how can I be more like her? Like who? Your crush, Samuel. He chuckled. You're pretty dedicated. I volunteered to be this stand-in, so I'll fulfill my duties. So can you tell me, what should I do to be more like her? This is fine for now, Samuel replied simply. I guessed he meant I should keep taking the lead. Maybe his crush is a very proactive person. I gritted my teeth, mustered up courage, and pushed him to the edge of the bed. Kissing him wildly, a reading lamp on the bedside table lit up Samuel's features. He was undeniably handsome, unmatched by anyone else. Derek used to be the school hottie, but compared to Samuel, no contest. I stared at Samuel's face, stunned. Why stop kissing? Seeing my silence, he rolled over, spread his legs, and pinned me beneath him. Jamie, pay attention. This is how you kiss. He suddenly called my name, sounding so sweet that my mind went blank. Then I was engulfed in a long, wet kiss. Samuel said he wanted to teach me. He was serious. He'd been working out for years, his physique and stamina surpassing the average person, along with his magnetic voice. Deliberately soft, he breathed lightly in my ear. He tempted me to the point of losing my sanity. Sometimes I'd scratch his back. Sometimes I'd grab his arms, as a way to resist wave after wave of rising passion. Samuel had a tattoo on his arm, which turned red when I scratched it. Another moment of losing control. Samuel sighed, quite sensitive. I was too embarrassed to look at him or respond. Samuel, I whispered. On the other hand, Samuel got more hyped. Jamie, look at me. What am I doing? He intentionally slowed his movements, gently teasing that torturous spot. Unable to resist, I could only say the words he wanted to hear. But for some reason, it seemed to get even hotter. Samuel showed me his wild side. After what felt like forever, I begged, Samuel, I'm so tired, I can't take it anymore. What did you call me, Samuel? Did you call me the wrong name? No, right? Flames reignited in Samuel's eyes. It sounds really good. I like it a lot. Should I call your name again? No. I forgot my place and glared at him. Samuel, however, stayed cool, coaxing me, Jamie, just one more time. With his assurance, I lazily lay down. This time, it was more intense than before. My voice nearly broke in my throat. When it got unbearable, I moved forward without thinking. But Samuel held me around the waist and pulled me back forcefully, matching it with a thrust. In an instant, it peaked. My brain went blank. I could also hear a muffled moan from Samuel behind me. He let out a satisfied sigh. I slept until the afternoon before waking up, and Samuel was there to wake me up. Opening my eyes, I sensed something subtly different. Bowing my head, I saw Samuel's short, tousled hair and the tattoo on his arm. The vibe was soaked with ambiguity. He was so passionate it made me wonder who was really trying to please whom. After the confusion, I went to take a shower. As I tiptoed, I screamed in pain. Samuel, is it hurting? A bit. It's my fault. Last night was also my first time. I couldn't control myself. I looked at him incredulously. What did you say? It was your first time. How could it be your first time? You're supposed to have been with plenty of women. So experienced, right? Seems like you've got some misunderstandings about me. Without explaining further, Samuel picked me up and sent me into the bathroom. By the time I came out after cleaning up, he had finished showering in another bathroom. Samuel dressed in a black suit, his fingers holding a cigarette, exuding an untouchable vibe. He stubbed out the cigarette as soon as he saw me coming out and immediately sat down to talk. His voice had a chilly edge, reminding me of the restrained breaths in his throat from the previous night. a mix of control and sensuality. "What do you want me to do for you?" he asked straight up. I didn't beat around the bush and laid out the false accusations against my dad. Although the incident happened in a small town, the case was pretty tangled. For someone to frame a worker, there must be some powerful manipulation behind it. They even cut off my channels. Clearing my dad's name wasn't going to be easy. After I finished telling everything, I waited for Samuel's response. I expected him to mull it over, but to my surprise, he agreed right away. "Okay, leave it to me." I was stunned. "You're agreeing just like that. Any problems?" "This case is tricky. I've approached many people before, and they all declined." Samuel smirked. "They couldn't handle it. I'll handle it for you." Usually, I wouldn't dig into this kind of cocky tone, but the cocky one was Samuel. Concern turned into peace of mind. Samuel had work to handle. I went to the study to grab a book. When I entered, I was shocked by the scattered sketches all over the place. Each sketch featured the same woman, who looked just like me, especially the one on the desk, colored and framed, strategically placed where a slight bow would reveal it. No doubt she was Samuel's crush. "What are you looking at?" Samuel walked over. Seeing the room full of sketches, he went silent for a moment. "If you don't like them, I can have them all removed." "No need," I hurried to deny. "I actually think the drawings are pretty cool." "Did you draw them all yourself?" "Impressive." I genuinely praised. "If you weren't inheriting your family business, you could still be an artist." Samuel stared at me for a moment, noticing my genuine admiration. He showed no hint of jealousy or anger. At that moment, his assistant brought coffee up, looking hesitant to speak. Samuel asked, "Is something wrong?" Derek has been waiting downstairs all night. He seems to think Jamie won't stay here for long, so he waited last night to take her away." But Jamie never came down all day, and now he tried to come up several times but was stopped by the bodyguards. I glanced at my phone. Sure enough, there were over a dozen missed calls and messages. The earliest one was from last night, shortly after I had arrived upstairs. Derek said, "Jamie, I've been thinking, and I've changed my mind. Just come down and I'll take you away." Not getting my reply, he got more anxious. "Jamie, please pick up the phone. Are you mad? It's my fault for not thinking clearly before bringing you here. Have you seen Samuel? Is he in a bad mood? Don't worry, I'll come up to protect you." The assistant even pulled up the surveillance video downstairs. Derek paced anxiously at the door, no longer as chill as before. The assistant asked, "What should we do now, boss?" Samuel didn't answer, his dark eyes fixed on me, seemingly gauging my reaction. I stayed cool and said, "I almost forgot. I have a request. Please don't hand the project back to him." Samuel seemed slightly surprised. "I thought you'd beg me for him." "I never planned to." He smirked in satisfaction. "Glad you didn't." I stayed by Samuel's side for a month. After getting to know the assistants, I realized Samuel hadn't lied to me. There had never been a woman by his side. His private life was clean, contrary to the rumors. Even the woman in the painting, the assistants had never seen her in person. They said, "The boss is ambitious, not driven by desire." I couldn't help but wonder, always working, tireless, like a perpetual motion machine. Isn't that desire-driven? Of course, I wouldn't say that out loud. Samuel was genuinely concerned about my well-being. Sometimes waking up in the middle of the night, I'd find him still awake, leaning under the reading light, looking at my dad's case files. He even put together a top-notch legal team to support my dad. Derek tried to contact me countless times, but I had blocked all his communication channels. At the end of June, there was a charity gala. Samuel wanted to take me with him. Before leaving, I had no idea all the people I disliked would be there today. Meanwhile, inside the gala venue, Hannah glared angrily at the indifferent Derek. She thought that by sending me away, she could be with Derek. Little did she know Derek seemed lost and kept staring at his phone, saying, "She's really pissed now." In that moment, Derek stared at the blocked contact info, dumbfounded. On the screen were messages he had just sent but were rejected. "Jamie, I know I was wrong. Please forgive me." Hannah couldn't take it anymore and dragged him to a secluded spot, yelling at him, "What are you waiting for? Jamie has been silent for a month. She might have gone nuts from Samuel's torment." "Derek, wake up," Derek said. "No, she'll definitely come back to me. If she returns, then what about me?" What are we doing this time? You're the chairman's granddaughter. Taking care of you is my job. Hannah didn't believe him. Do you dare say you don't like me? After this, I realized I couldn't let go of. Don't believe him. Do you dare say you don't like me? After this, I realized I couldn't let go of Jamie. Impossible. Are you kidding me? Derek, you've been so good to me. It can't be just for work. And the promotion? The raise. Derek said numbly. I don't like you, but for the benefit, I endured it all. Hannah was furious, her face turning pale. Despicable. I despise you. You finally tell the truth. Derek coldly exposed. Actually, deep down, you never respected someone like me. Hannah was provoked and snapped back harshly. You and Jamie are a perfect match. Unfortunately, she's already been ruined by Samuel. Derek slapped her, cutting off her words. The air went silent. After a bit, Hannah regained her composure. How dare you hit me? Derek, you're fired from now on. I'll make sure you never find a job again. Derek responded indifferently. I have evidence of your violations in my hands. You can try. No wonder he was acting out of character today. Because he held the company's Achilles heel. A clever guy like Derek had long prepared for this. If they dared to silence him, backup data would leak. No one knew where he had backed up the data or what kind of sharing program was set up. Hannah glared at him, full of hatred. At that moment, Samuel arrived. Seeing Samuel, Hannah lost her temper even more. She cursed even harder. Jamie is useless, a waste, can't even win back a partnership. But before she finished, her eyes suddenly widened. Walking next to Samuel was Jamie, the one she thought had completely failed. I linked my arm with Samuel's and entered the event gracefully. All conversations stopped. Everyone turned to look at us. The gown Samuel had picked for me fit perfectly. During this month, he had spoiled me with various supplements, almost giving me a nosebleed from so many. Thankfully, he had revived my dry hair. I had gained weight, looking healthier. In a corner, there were two familiar gazes, Derek and Hannah, who I hadn't seen in a long time. Our eyes met briefly, and I quickly looked away. I didn't know. At that moment, Derek's heart seemed to be captured by someone. This white dress reminded him of the 17-year-old me, waiting at the station gate in a white dress just to welcome him back home. During holidays, in one of the gaps while Samuel was schmoozing with other bosses, a man approached. The Jamie who can't drink. I recognized him. He was one of the guys who forced me to the hospital for gastric lavage. Forced drinking wasn't the worst. What was awful was not owning up to it afterward, acting like, I didn't agree to help you, it's your inability to handle it. I naturally didn't show him a friendly face. When the man saw me being cold, his ego was bruised. Who are you trying to impress? Feeling superior for hooking up with Samuel? What a joke! He called a group of friends. Coincidentally, they were all there that day. Come and see, she's warming Samuel's bed, thinking she's gonna be a princess. The sleazy guys started joking around. Is Samuel satisfying you? If not, come find us. Jamie, drink up. Let your big brother see you pass out from drinking. I had my palm ready, just about to slap each one of them. The leader of the men suddenly yelled in pain. He was kicked from behind, falling straight to the ground. Who? He was about to curse, but when he turned around, he saw Samuel's bodyguard and immediately fell silent. Is Jamie a name you can call out? Samuel appeared behind me like a ghost. He looked down at the man on the ground and stepped on his hand. His shoe viciously crushed the man's fingertips. The guy screamed in pain. Everyone around just watched silently. No one dared to step in. When Samuel's pissed, listen up. Jamie is not a bedmate. Samuel coldly and deliberately said, word by word, she's my girlfriend. I stared at Samuel in disbelief. Am I his girlfriend? How come I didn't know? Oh, well, whatever he says is what it is. Samuel's anger was still burning. He personally poured a full glass of alcohol. Like drinking. Today I'll make sure you drink your fill. The bodyguard forced open the man's mouth, and Samuel rudely poured the alcohol in. The man choked, his face and neck turning red. If you don't drink, you're not giving me, Samuel? Face? Don't look at me like that. When you poured alcohol for my girlfriend, you must have said the same stuff. I'm just returning the favor to you. Samuel waved his hand, and several large wine glasses were brought over. Make sure these gentlemen drink well. Make sure they drink enough. The bodyguard got the message and escorted several people out of the venue. Later on, cries for mercy occasionally came from the lounge. Samuel turned a deaf ear. He squeezed my hand. Did you want to retaliate just now? Yeah, next time. Leave this stuff to me. Don't hurt yourself for it. Samuel, am I your girlfriend? Of course. Why would you even doubt that? I stared blankly at him. Samuel realized, Jamie, you never saw me as your boyfriend. A girlfriend is a girlfriend. But what if your true love comes back? An excellent stand-in will handle all risks for the boss. When the time comes, I'll just disappear on my own. Samuel put his arm around my waist, introducing me to the distinguished guests. Glasses clinked. Derek passed by me. Get away from Samuel quickly. He's dangerous, he said to me in a tone only I could hear. After the dinner ended, those who loved to drink were all sent to the hospital. Samuel still had some talks with a few bosses. I was waiting for the driver to pick me up. Suddenly, someone appeared from behind, covered my mouth, and dragged me into a room. This lounge had been turned into a warehouse. Lots of random items, dim lighting. Derek, what are you doing? I questioned him. If not like this, would you agree to see me? Derek placed me on a chair and knelt halfway beside my legs. His gaze was somewhat intense. Jamie, there's been progress on your dad's case. I found the person responsible before the accident. Following this lead will surely expose the company behind it. I calmly stated, I've already found out it was a fake company that dissolved after my dad's accident. He looked puzzled. How did you know Samuel found out? That's it. I'll be leaving. As I was getting up, Derek held me back. If you stay by his side, is it because he can help you get justice? It's better than someone who talks but does nothing. I mocked. Jamie, I'm also looking into it. Break up with him and come back to me, okay? Don't even think about it. Are you still mad at me? His eyes were bloodshot. Hannah and I have nothing. If it wasn't for her suggesting to send you away, I wouldn't have made such a big mistake. I've regretted it a lot during this time, losing sleep every day, closing my eyes only to see you. Derek, have you forgotten? I interrupted him impatiently. You're the one who personally brought me to Samuel. You can't deny that. Derek shuddered. The fact he feared facing most was revealed by a single sentence from me. He almost completely knelt on the ground, pleading with me. I was wrong. I was wrong. I'll make it up. You can tell me to do anything, Jamie. Don't leave me. He reached for my hand. I pulled away. Don't contact me again in the future. Samuel will get angry. From childhood friends to now, this is all so sad. I adjusted my dress and prepared to leave. But at this moment, neither of us knew. Samuel had finished his business and was actively searching for me. He was standing outside the room, able to hear the conversation inside clearly. Jamie, aren't you curious about the blood on Samuel's hands? Upon hearing this, Samuel froze. When I was about to leave, Derek once again stopped me and mentioned the matter of Samuel killing someone. Just 1 month ago, around the time you met him, he forced a poor man to jump off a building. Derek had a sinister look. The man had his beloved family, then suddenly lost the head of the household. How pitiful, I said. Don't spread rumors without evidence. The word on the street is that the man used to work under Samuel. After being kicked out by Samuel, he jumped off a building within 3 days. I suddenly remembered that night when I first met Samuel, the middle-aged man who was thrown out. My gut told me it was him. He committed suicide. Why blame it on Samuel? Because Samuel pushed him to a dead end, maybe even pushed him to jump off the building. If that's the case, the justice system will step in. Derek chuckled. Jamie, you're still too naive. People like Samuel, the law can't touch them, just like your dad's case. Mixed emotions. Saying I'm not shaken is fake, but I seriously recall our interactions over the past month. Samuel is the person who, after finishing work, would personally go through the records of my dad's case. He is the one who, after I got tired of hotel food delivery, rolled up his sleeves and cooked for me. He is also someone who silently did a lot of charity work. Rather than rumors, I prefer to believe my own eyes. I looked at Derek, solemnly stating, I trust Samuel. He's not that kind of person. On the way back to the hotel, Samuel dismissed the driver and personally drove. He was silent the whole way. I've gotten used to it. He's always a man of few words, so I didn't sense anything wrong. In the hotel basement, he bought a spot, using it as a private garage. After parking the car, he didn't immediately unlock the door. "Samuel, aren't you getting out?" I asked. He didn't answer, just held me and pulled me onto the driver's seat. Facing away from the steering wheel, I straddled him. Samuel held the back of my head, kissing me urgently and aggressively. His emotions surged, as if he wanted to give himself completely to me. The formal dress fell off, his pants stained with watermarks. In the intimate and confined space, we intertwined closely. Samuel was fierce and urgent. With his rhythm, my lower back pressed against the steering wheel until Samuel fully released. Breathing heavily, rationality gradually returned. I caressed his face and asked, "Do you have something on your mind?" He fell silent for a moment, then spoke heavily. "My subordinate did indeed jump off a building. I didn't expect him to say that. Maybe he overheard my conversation with Derek." I listened patiently. I didn't pressure him, nor did I instigate. He was dismissed because he crossed my bottom line. I didn't ask about the secret. A qualified substitute wouldn't be so loose-lipped. But Samuel touched his right ear and said voluntarily, "Jamie, actually, I'm partially deaf." I widened my eyes in astonishment. His right ear, no different from the other, was actually deaf. He had a high fever as a kid. No one noticed, and his right ear got damaged. It's not a fond memory. Samuel cast his dark eyes down. That subordinate who jumped off the building, had poor drinking habits, joked about my ears while drunk, said unpleasant things. That's why I dismissed him. You did nothing wrong. It was a matter of principle. He deserved to be fired, but I didn't know he owed a lot of money outside. By firing him, cutting off his income, with several people to support at home, he couldn't handle that pressure. So he jumped off the building. I asked, "This has nothing to do with you. Why take the blame?" His family didn't want to reveal the real reason for his suicide, fearing damage to his reputation, so I took the hit. Not surprising at all. This is the Samuel I know, ruthless in tactics, ferocious in character, but when it comes to right and wrong, he has principles and boundaries. Let me guess, did you end up paying off his debts too? Samuel was first surprised, then said calmly, "You know me too well." After his death, his creditors went after his family, who were widowed and orphaned, so I decided to pay off their debts. I knew it. Jamie, I'm telling you all this mainly to thank you. Thank me for what? Thank you for trusting me, Samuel said. The formal dress was already torn. He held me, taking a separate elevator to the top floor. After entering the room, I hugged him proactively. Like just now, shall we do it again? Samuel's eyes flickered. Can we? I didn't answer, just held onto his waist, saying, Samuel, love me fiercely. In the past, he always took the lead, and I would just ask him to wrap it up quickly. Today, let me take the initiative, from the bedroom to the living room. In the end, I was so weak that I couldn't even walk properly. He carried me to the bathtub to wash up. By the way, I was originally studying medicine and did an internship in otolaryngology. But then I took a break after my dad's accident. I know, he said. How did he know? Perhaps he had investigated my background. I didn't dwell on it, but sat back on him. Samuel was surprised. Jamie, are you this good today? This will be the last time. I took control. Samuel was pushed beyond reason by my teasing, but ultimately, it was exhaustion. I got tired first and soon got up to leave. Samuel held me, breathing heavily, and said, You can't just leave me, a half-disabled man, here like this. Seeing Samuel look somewhat aggrieved for the first time was truly novel. My heart softened, and I stayed. Soon after, Samuel used brute force to make me understand that even if he wore a rabbit mask, he was still an insatiable beast. There was progress in my dad's case. The investigation results were unexpected. The mastermind unearthed by Samuel turned out to be someone from Hannah's company. Samuel nodded. He is Hannah's distant cousin. No wonder no one was willing to help, because behind it was Hannah's company. No wonder Hannah was against me in every way. She had known everything for a long time. I didn't dare think deeply, does Derek know? Or has Hannah been keeping it from him all along? Jamie, don't get mad just yet. Samuel said calmly. Hannah doesn't have the brains for that. She rarely interacts with that cousin. Their focus is still on their family business. What should I do? You don't need to do anything. Next is a game of capital. Leave it all to me. I'll handle them for you. But I also want to do my best to repay Samuel. Recently, I've resumed my studies. Hopefully one day I can cure Samuel's ears. Jamie, there's actually one more thing. Samuel paused. A rare moment of hesitation for him. After much thought, I've decided to tell you. Derek is sick. It's not a minor illness. About half a month ago, he was diagnosed with early-stage cancer. It hit him like a lightning bolt, instantly crushing him. Although it doesn't need chemotherapy at this stage, it's like a time bomb, uncertain if it'll spread or come back in the future. Nevertheless, he wanted to see me. Unable to reach me, he had to find Samuel. The day I went to the hospital, I ran into Derek's parents at the ward entrance. The atmosphere was tense. Jamie, you finally came. Derek has been asking for you, his father said. How is he? The surgery was quite successful, said his parents. I had nothing more to say. When my dad had his accident, my mom had gone to them for help. But they were afraid of getting involved and avoided seeing my mom. My mom was heartbroken for a long time, saying even a few words of comfort would have sufficed. I didn't have to ask for your help. Later, when my mom passed away, they didn't even show up for the funeral. Two families who used to be so close, now ending up like this. My uncle spoke awkwardly. Jamie, about your dad's situation. It's not that we didn't want to help, it's that we couldn't help. I understand, I said softly. Everyone has their reasons. No need to force it. The more understanding I was, the more guilt they felt. But I didn't want to hear their apologies and excuses. So I went straight into the ward. Compared to the last time we met, Derek looked much worse. Jamie, he exclaimed excitedly, sitting up, you're really here, after over 20 years of friendship. Out of politeness, I should also come to see you. I spoke indifferently, distancing myself. Derek couldn't help but feel disappointed. You still haven't forgiven me. It's not about forgiveness. I just understand you. You have your own choices. You chose your prospects. You chose your interests. I have no right to interfere, just like his parents, seeking profit and avoiding harm. It's human nature. I don't blame any of them. Derek looked pained. I used to be so driven by greed, wanting a lot of money, wanting to reach high positions. I'm sorry, I've put things in the wrong order. I've never wanted a big house and a lavish wedding. I looked at him with sympathy. I used to only want you. Derek trembled. And now I don't want you anymore. I let you go since the day you sent me away. Can we try again? Rekindle our feelings. We can. I have someone I like now. Who? I didn't answer, almost confirming it. He just sees you as a substitute. What will you do when the person he truly likes comes back? Derek's emotions surged, causing him to start coughing. Rest well, Derek. I'm leaving. Don't go. Spend more time with me, please. Let me look at you again. I firmly put down the fruit basket and left. However, Derek's words lingered in my mind. Lately, I've been contemplating. What if Samuel's true love comes back? Then let them come back. The drama of a love triangle between a true love and a substitute won't happen with me. Samuel has done enough for me. I don't ask for anything more. Returning to the hotel, I went to the study to change a book and suddenly noticed dust on a picture frame. It was of someone Samuel held dear. I grabbed a clean towel and carefully wiped the dust off the frame. But as I did, the backboard of the frame fell off. As I reattached it, I discovered a signature on the back of the canvas. Jamie, hold on. Jamie, this is my name. Confused, I stared at the letters. Samuel had just finished bathing and came in to find me. Jamie, what are you staring at? Samuel, is this picture of me? It's you. Wait, are you not going to explain? I was waiting for you to remember before I said. He had a towel wrapped around his waist, his short, damp hair still wet. I know you interned in the ENT department because you showed me a medical issue once. Wait a minute, I studied and interned in another city. I've never been here. How did I show you a medical issue? I wanted to move to this city with Derek back then, but the medical school I dreamed of was in another place. Between love and academics, I chose academics. Samuel confirmed my story. Your mentor is a well-known ENT expert in the country, and there were 3 other interns with you. All true, but I interned for only a month before my dad had his accident. Your teacher is very renowned in the field. It's reasonable for you to go to him for treatment. Not really, Samuel chuckled. I went there to get back at someone. Who? The nanny who made me deaf in one ear. Wasn't his ear damaged due to a fever and complications? Confused, Samuel told me a story. When he was a child, a young nanny came to the house. She was actually Samuel's father's mistress. By staying as a nanny, she could openly have an affair under everyone's noses. During that time, Samuel's family was all busy with work and not paying much attention to him. To secure her illegitimate child's future, the nanny intentionally kept his illness hidden. It was only after Samuel had a high fever seizure that the adults found out he was sick. His right ear was destroyed, and his hearing in the left ear was reduced significantly. But his father couldn't bear to punish his mistress. He only fired her. He even considered bringing the illegitimate child home to replace Samuel because of his half-disability. Samuel grew up in the shadow of possibly going completely deaf at any time. The hatred in his heart grew into a towering tree. After joining the family business, he disregarded family ties and was the first to kick his father out. The reputation of his cruel and indifferent nature spread from that time, but it wasn't enough. Why should the person who ruined his hearing be able to live so carefree with his family's money? Samuel couldn't understand. He went to that city alone, wanting to also damage the nanny's ears. However, before doing so, he visited the hospital where I was interning, hearing that there was a top ENT expert there. Previously, Samuel had a negative mindset and never actively participated in treatment. But that day, he had a thought. What if I could be cured? As long as I could be cured, I would spare the nanny. That professor told him that his right ear could never be cured. That day, he walked out of the clinic in silence. His mind was filled with thoughts of how to make that person deaf too. Just then, an intern stopped him. Wait, sir. Samuel turned around and met this intern for the first time. If a high fever and otitis media cause hearing loss in the right ear, the left ear won't be too good either. Indeed, his hearing in the left ear was much worse than normal. Although the right ear may be untreatable, perhaps we can try the left ear. Medical advances have come a long way in the past decade, and there may be hope for the left ear to recover. No need, let it be like this. Samuel refused indifferently. Most doctors wouldn't push further after such resistance. But as an intern, my passion still burns. Just give it a try. Fix the left ear first. Maybe in a few more years, with further medical advances, we can treat the right ear too. How is that possible? Samuel scoffed. Do you take me for a 3-year-old? But I wasn't angry. Instead, I looked up and said seriously, if you give up, what did I study medicine so hard for? This question hit him hard. Samuel was speechless for a moment. When he finally reacted, he unconsciously followed me back to the clinic. I examined his left ear and inquired about his medical history. My touch was gentle, like a light breeze brushing past his ear. It was itchy, quite warm. It stirred restlessness in him. He had never liked anyone before. Most of his life, he was consumed by the aftermath of his acquired disability. This was the first time he felt the ache in his heart. An inexplicable emotion was on the verge of emerging. Samuel decided to stay in the hospital for treatment, although half of it was for a girl named Jamie. Because of me, he avoided committing a crime. However, at this point, I already knew the rest of the story. Unfortunately, he disappeared shortly after being admitted to the hospital. I received devastating news from my dad the same day and had to apply for a leave of absence from school to return to my hometown. With family matters pressing, I quickly put this patient, Samuel, out of my mind. So when we met again, I didn't recognize him. The teacher cured Samuel's left ear. After he returned home, he immediately drew a portrait of me. Occasionally, when visitors came and saw those drawings, they all said that it was Samuel's lover. I have a few more questions. Go ahead. You know my name. Just ask the teacher and you can find me. You think I didn't look for you? Samuel hugged me onto the table, saying helplessly, I not only found you, but also learned about your relationship with Derek. I thought, why not just snatch you away? My reputation isn't that great anyway, and it wouldn't hurt to steal a woman. I chuckled. Why didn't you then? I was about to make a plan, and it wouldn't hurt to steal a woman. I chuckled. Why didn't you then? I was about to make a plan, and you came to me first. I thought, finally, heaven was on my side. I asked again, why didn't you tell me all this earlier? 1. I was afraid you stayed with me to help Derek. 2. I was afraid you'd think I'm a pervert. He looked around at the sketches in the room. Were you not scared by these drawings? Indeed, if I had known from the start that they were all drawings of me, I might have been scared. My feelings for Samuel grew overnight. Now, looking at these drawings again, I can treat them with a calm mind. Samuel's hair was almost dry. The faint scent of shower gel still lingered on his skin. I buried my face in the crook of his neck, kissing it again and again. Suddenly, I remembered that night when he risked it all. Samuel frowned, asking, "What do you think? You unzipped my pants and kissed me all over as soon as you saw me, Jamie. I'd been longing for you, and you acted like that as soon as we met. Could I have borne it from his perspective? Not devouring me immediately was already showing great restraint. Any more questions? I'm all ears." What about the illegitimate child? Dead? Drowned in middle school? I fell silent. Perhaps it was his mother's retribution. I had no more questions. Samuel lowered his head, his forehead touching mine. I'm sorry, Jamie. I wish I'd known about your dad sooner. You've already helped me a lot. I've never been loved by my dad. He sighed. I envy you. So I want to preserve this bond for you. I felt moved and kissed him first. All the love and words were drowned in the kisses. With emotions heating up, it was time to do something joyful. Samuel whispered, "Let's do it right here." Okay. He leaned his arms on the table, his veins bulging, exuding a sense of power. He wasn't wearing a shirt. His Adam's apple and muscles were stimulating my senses. As we passionately kissed, the towel fell to the ground. The tension was building up below the mermaid line. Samuel kissed down my collarbone. He was like a desert wanderer thirsting for so long, searching for a water source on me. In the study, only ambiguous sounds of sucking remained. I felt like we would never be apart in this lifetime. With Samuel's involvement, my dad's case attracted attention from above. A task force was formed by the relevant department to investigate the case. Hannah's cousin, along with several officials he bribed. Arrests were made and warrants issued. Derek was also involved in stirring up trouble. Due to health issues, he resigned from his job. Through his hand, a series of Hannah's misconducts were exposed to the public. Overnight, Hannah's family almost collapsed, but I didn't expect them to throw Hannah under the bus. Hannah, pampered and used to luxury, thought she was a true princess. But when the family faced trouble, she was the first to be abandoned. It was because of her close relationship with Derek in the past. Moreover, she had indeed been involved in some misconduct. It was said that Hannah, in prison, learned that her family was planning to leave her and flee the country. She completely broke down. She also revealed a lot of evidence. In the end, Hannah's family members did not escape either. Ultimately, this whole family would be reunited behind bars. During this period, Samuel wasn't idle. He took over Hannah's original projects, further expanding his business. Derek faded out of our world. I don't know what happened to his illness later on, or if it recurred. Those were no longer my concern. The day my dad was released from prison, Samuel went with me to pick him up. It was a spring day. Everything was blooming. Even the prison was bathed in full greenery. I held Samuel's hand and watched as the iron gate slowly opened. My dad touched his almost bald head, smiling as he walked out. The iron gate slowly closed behind him. It was as if it was telling me that the long years of suffering and running around had come to an end at this moment. From then on, I had a home again.